As a boy, I would look at all these videos and pictures and think, how cool would it be if I could be on that trip?
There's just not anything like it that I know in the world.
Um, Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Heising, founder and CEO of LUEX Surf and Snow Travel, and this is the first episode about the impact of COVID-19 on snow and heliski travel. Hear directly from our partners about travel restrictions to their destinations. My guests today are John Forrest, President and General Manager of Northern Escape Heliski, and Martin Jenner, Head of Sales at LUEX. Good day, guys. How are you?
Hi there.
Hey man,
Perfect.
yeah, all good.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
John, how's Canada?
Yeah,
Oh, Canada's beautiful here right now. We have a summer home in the Okanagan, and it's warm and sunny, and the lake's in front of me, and it's just a nice place to kind of take a bit of a rest after a busy winter.
Perfect, perfect. So, how did Corona hit you and when?
Well, this winter, we could see what was happening in Europe, and we could, we would be able to anticipate that it was making its way to North America. But to be really honest, it happened really quickly. In early March, or even mid-February, we were starting to take more precautions, higher cleaning protocols, making sure people were healthy when they were coming. And then early March, it started to become more of an issue. I think it was about March 13th, we decided to end our season after the current guests that were with us. So that would have put us ending about March 22nd or something like that. And that would have let the guests that were with us finish their week with us. And then Monday morning, March 16th came, and it seemed like the world just fell apart overnight on the 15th and 16th. And we ended up canceling the season right then and there. We flew all of our guests out of our lodges straight to the airport, helped them get their connecting flights to get home. And it wasn't more than a few days after that the borders started closing. And so we were really happy that we got everyone out when we did.
Okay, perfect. I think we had a group at your new lodge right then.
Yeah, you
just
may well
before,
have.
just before I think actually, like about a week before.
Yeah, I think it was about a week before. I was at our new mountain lodge when this was all coming down. I was coordinating from there. We're lucky we've got really high speed internet up there as well. But I was able to coordinate everything from that lodge with our other lodges to make sure everyone was doing the same thing and everyone was taken care of. But yeah, we had full lodges. We had, I think, 5 weeks of the season left. It was a very difficult decision, but in hindsight, absolutely the right one to make at the right time.
Perfect. And how was your new lodge? Actually, the clients told us they were super happy, and I think they even rebooked for next season.
Yeah, I think the rebooking rate at our new mountain lodge is probably 80% or more. Most people have rebooked. It's nearly sold out for the season. There's still weeks here and there that you can fill in, but if you were a big group, it'd be harder to find a full lodge booking. We're trying to focus on full lodge bookings at that lodge because it's small. It's only 10 people. But people love the lodge. It's really well located. You fly to it directly from the airport. It's got 10 single rooms. Everyone gets their own room and their own bathroom. The the remoteness of it is beautiful in that it sits on a remote mountain lake. The vistas and the views from the lodge are beautiful. It's got a great outdoor hot tub. It's purpose built for heli skiing.
Perfect. I mean, we have been at your place last spring, and you guys were amazing. The whole team was amazing. So that was much appreciated and really good for us to see
Awesome.
it. So, and are you following the impact on visa and flights to Canada and basically the whole development? And how are you looking forward to the next season?
Well, it's difficult to say right now. Everything is changing still so quickly. We had a summer program planned for our new mountain lodge, which we put on hold. It just wasn't the right time to premiere it and open it up, and so we've pushed that back to 2021 for the summer. This winter, we're full steam ahead, planning on having a good season. There's a lot of COVID-19 precautions and planning that has to go into place to make it happen
Sure.
safely. But a lot of it is pretty common sense. It's really not that hard to implement. There are restaurants that have their plans already in place, which we can utilize and amend to work within our restaurants and dining areas. Hotels have all of their reopening planning and procedures in place, which again, we can utilize to help us kind of model our planning and preparations and our precautions with it. They're all fairly common sense, and they don't really impact the feel of what we offer that much. We went out for dinner here the other night. One of the restaurants opened up locally, and just so you guys know, Canada is probably about maybe 2 months behind Europe in terms of opening things up. It's happening a little bit slower here, and so our restaurants and everything are just opening now. We went out for dinner the other night, and it was a great experience. We had a really nice night, and so I don't expect it would be any different for our clients when they show up this winter. We just have to put all the procedures in place.
And do you have any
Yeah.
concerns that borders will stay closed for much longer, or what's the rumor from tourism ministry and from government?
Yeah, again, that one's so hard to tell. If we're modeling ourselves after what Europe is doing and we're a few months behind, our borders currently are closed. The Canada-US border's closed. I don't think the borders, maybe the borders to other countries are closed as well, but at the very least, there's a 14-day quarantine if you come into Canada. And so that's basically a closed border for tourism anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But I expect that they're going to start easing those. We're still just early June now. We've only been dealing with this for 2 months, basically, maybe 3 months.
Yeah.
I expect that the borders will start opening up and tourism will start to become available again to international clients. They're
Is,
domestic.
is tourism possible for Canadians right now? I mean, can you cross states or?
Well, Canada's constitution doesn't allow us to close the borders between the different provinces. So you're supposed to be allowed to travel freely. Some of the provinces have, two of our provinces, Ontario and Quebec, which are thousands of kilometers to the east of us. Those two provinces are having still a hard time with the pandemic. They don't have it quite yet under control, whereas BC has it completely under control. We're doing quite well here. There's very few new cases. We're using the term flatten the curve, and we've certainly flattened it. It's working quite well.
Okay.
You can travel between Alberta and British Columbia freely right now. They're not recommending that you travel yet, but that's anticipated that interprovincial travel will be allowed, or not allowed, but encouraged here probably in about another 3 or 4 weeks.
Okay.
Right.
So yeah, looking forward to next winter. I mean, there's a decent amount of time, as you said, if it follows the model of Europe, there should be no problems. But I noticed, we talked a little bit about it, but maybe you can also share some more information. I mean, you've changed your booking terms as well, just to give a bit more peace of mind in case it does come back or is still even with us. What have you implemented there?
Well, we're anticipating that domestic travel is going to be a little bit more important. So we're doing two things here. Our first thing that we're doing is we're creating a domestic product for Canadians, which doesn't help you guys that much, but we're creating a domestic program for Canadians that will run in early winter, probably December, maybe into early January. And then in anticipation of the borders being open by then, our regular Heliskiing program's operating. We have amended our booking policies and cancellation policies, just making it a little bit easier for people to book now risk-free, basically, so they can book now. One of the issues is that if you wait until, and it seems almost counterintuitive, but we're still selling seats daily right now. People are still booking. And so if you're waiting for sure that the borders are going to be open and everything's going to be ready to go, by the time you get there probably won't be any seats to book with us anyway, and probably most of the other operators. Mm-hmm. So we're encouraging our guests to book now, but to give them some confidence in doing so, we've eased up our cancellation policies. So by October 1st, if for some reason they have to cancel for any reason, COVID related, they've lost their job, they don't have the money to come on the trip anymore, they're sick, the borders are closed, but for any reason, COVID related, they can cancel up until October 1st without any loss of their deposit, without any fees. It's basically no risk. It allows people to book now and then finalize everything once things are a little more clear.
Great. That's a really good point you mentioned. I mean, in this climate, it's going to be a long time before it's 100% certain that everything's going to go as normal, or maybe we'll never be 100% certain again. But giving them that peace of mind to book regardless, that's that's the key. Yeah. All right, John. So I think so from what you said, there won't be any real changes to how the heli operations work as well. I mean, will you be making any changes? I don't know, to do with how that's actually carried out, like the skiing aspect for next winter?
Well, some of the big changes will be in the lodging, as we talked about. So, there's still social distancing here in Canada as there is in the rest of the world, and we anticipate that's going to stay through the winter. And so, if you're a group that's joining us, you'll be able to sit together at dinner with your group. A travel pod, as they're calling them in Canada. If it's individual bookings, then we'll have to separate those people by 6 feet. Here in Canada, the social distancing is 2 meters. And so we'll separate tables and we'll make it all work and still create a nice atmosphere for everyone. The helicopter usage, really the only change there is that as they are on airlines, helicopter travel in Canada is governed by the Federal Aviation Department. And so they also govern airlines and everything else. So they're basically stating if you cannot social distance, then you need to wear protective clothing and equipment. So basically a mask. We looked at it in skiers. If we recommend the skiers keep their goggles on, keep their gloves on, and pull up a neck tube or something like that. That's all they'll really have to do, and that will be required in the helicopter as personal protective equipment. So really, there isn't much difference. The helicopter rides are short, and you'll be able to take care of that. In our snowcats, we anticipate being able, except for maybe the largest groups, depends on how bookings go. We may have to split the snowcats a little bit up where there's less people in the snowcat, allow a little more room for everyone. That's easy enough. We have lots of snowcats. We've got 3 snowcats for the groups. And so we can move people around and make sure that there's enough room for social distancing in the cats. It's a little more important because it's a longer ride. Your exposure time is longer. And that's one thing they've asked us to mitigate.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Do you have more questions, Martin?
I think that actually covers it for me. I'm just curious, wondering if you have anything else, John, you'd like to ask us or like to mention, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was speaking to Tim a little bit earlier off broadcast here, and just asking how you guys' bookings are coming along. I know you run summer bookings, which must have taken a big hit. How do the summer and the winter bookings look?
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned before, I mean, it was really tough. We had a lot of trips affected. The end of the winter season, really. So some sort of ski touring trips were affected, a few heli-skiing trips and all of our summer trips. But there were some ups and downs, but it's looking, we're all really positive again. And it's, I mean, almost all trips were resolved amicably and with people getting credits for next year or refunds where it's possible. And we're starting to see requests come through again. So it's looking, it's not quite back to where we were. And the saddest thing was taking a big hit with our team as well. But if it continues to increase at the rate that it has been, we hopefully get back to normal within the next few months. Let's see how it goes. But yeah, we're hanging in there, and some bookings are starting to come through. So
yeah, it really depends on the opening and of borders and travel restrictions.
Some good news from Germany today, though. Germany's decided to open up their borders with how many European countries is it, Tim?
Yeah, with 31 countries. So basically all EU countries and the other countries in the Schengen area, such as Switzerland, Norway, and also Great Britain. So that's opening. That's good news. However, for our business, it's not the biggest destination where we sell trips to, obviously. So we depend a little bit more on international travel. Um, but the good thing is that our clientele, they're they're adventurer. So once traveling is possible, they will travel again.
Yeah.
They're mostly not too concerned about any illness factors. They're obviously concerned about travel restrictions, but we like. I think in the moment the borders open again, we will be back to normal.
Yeah, my understanding, just watching, and you guys know better than I do, but watching what Europe is doing, it sounds like June 15th is a big day for Europe and opening up much more travel. And you know, I'm sure travel is one of the world's largest industries. Airlines are one of the world's largest industries. It's going to come back, and it may be different. It may have to take different ways of doing things, but people will start moving, and people will travel, and people will enjoy their leisure time again.
Yeah, exactly. So June 15th, basically all the borders within Europe are opening. The question is still what's happening with international travel or travel outside of Europe, but we expect that to open quite soon as
Yeah.
well. Because as you mentioned, I mean, we all depend on it, and the spread of the disease doesn't really depend on traveling. Really, it's more regional
Yeah.
outbreaks, and they need to be treated regionally.
Yeah.
But just tourism and traveling isn't a big impact. I mean, there was a lot of uncertainty, and I think all the politicians didn't know exactly how to react, and they were very careful, which is correct, which is right.
Yeah.
And now they're adjusting, and
Yeah.
there will be travel corridors, and especially between Europe and Canada or other developed countries, I think that will open up quite soon.
Yeah, I think so too. You know, if you're looking for safe places to go, just as an example, and we follow it, my family and I in our office, we follow it quite closely here in BC. But in all of BC, with a population, it's not a huge population, but there's probably 6 million people in BC. I think we've had a total of in BC less than 2,000 cases, you know, and lately we've had 4 new and 3 new kind of thing. So it's not things are being controlled here quite well.
And a Heliski trip is definitely much better than booking a big hotel where you meet a lot of different people, right? So the fluctuation.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that we're really going to be focusing on this winter is, you know, our boutique style of operations, the small groups in the helicopters, small groups in the snowcats, and small groups in the lodge, is a real plus. You know, you're not exposing yourself to hundreds of other people. You're exposing yourself to possibly only your own travel group, or maybe another group or something like that. But yeah, it makes a big difference, the boutique style of operation, I believe.
No big queues in the lift lines. Yep, that's good.
Yeah, there's no lift lines here.
I think that's from my side. That's all from my side.
Yeah, John, just wishing you all the best for next season. Hopefully you have another cracker. It looks really good this winter. Canada and North America looked incredible. So hopefully it comes through for you next year again.
Yeah, you know, it seems like the seasons here. I've been doing this for God, it's almost 35 years now, and you can watch the seasons kind of ebb and flow. And I remember, you know, 3-4 years that were crappy, and then 3-4 years that were great. There's certainly a flow to this. Last year, we had all of British Columbia had kind of a poor seasons for, I would say, the last 3 or 4 years, just not normal. Whereas I skied this year and I was guiding slightly less. I think I only guided 70 or 80 days this year. But the days that I skied is like, oh, we're back to normal. This is just the way heliskiing is supposed to be. You know, it was face shots nearly every day, new snow nearly every day. We flew almost every day. Yeah, it was a really good season for us.
So what you're saying is next year will be the same, let's say.
Well, that's what that's what the forecast is for. Yeah, yeah. You know me and forecasts, they don't go very far.
No, perfect. Sounds good.
Perfect. Many thanks, John. That was great talking to you.
Yep.
Thanks
Awesome.
for
Yeah,
all
I'm glad.
the tips.
Yeah, hopefully it all worked out. When you get it live and you splice it in with the videos, let me know and I'll have a look. And if you need anything else, like the videos to download or pictures or anything, just let me know. We have lots.
Perfect. And if you don't mind, we will check in with you on a regular basis to see
Yeah, absolutely.
any changes coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I literally, guys, I've probably done 6 or 8 of these podcasts in the last 2 weeks. Everyone's
No way.
doing them.
No way.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
thanks also to all the listeners. Let's start traveling again as quickly as possible. And please feel free to check in with us. We would love to assist you. Thanks a
Awesome.
lot and see you next time.
Sounds good, guys. Thanks very much. Ciao.
Perfect.
We at LUEX are all about finding the best trips for you, for your requirements, your ability level, your taste and preferred style. Just the best options in the world.
LUEX offers you the world's largest selection of travel packages. We can offer you hundreds of unique and absolutely amazing travel experiences. No matter how special your requirements are, we will have the right option for you, guaranteed. The choice is only one side of the coin. The other one is the LUEX Objective Expert Advice to help you select the best option available. We have visited all destinations ourselves and know exactly what package will suit you and what won't. We also guarantee you the best available prices. In the unlikely case that anybody offers you the same package at a lower rate, just let us know and we will beat that price for you. We will be there for you 24/7 and we will spend as much time with you as it takes to find the best travel package possible and to assist you before, during and after your trip. Last but not least, you will enjoy the highest customer protection possible. Check out our website for details. We are living on repeat business and will make sure you get what you deserve.
Seen enough? Well, then give us a call if you want to ride the most amazing waves or some of the world's finest powder. Just check out LUEX.com.